Hey, it's Grace Faye, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video from what I normally do. It's not makeup related, it's not like anything of a typical video that I would do in a day. So what this video is it's going to be my high school experience. I'm licking my feet. So basically I'm just going to be talking about like my experience with high school so far. So the first thing I wanted to say is that I am a well, I guess you could say that I'm a junior. I just finished my sophomore year, so next year I will be a junior. I go to a high school where you go to high school grades 9 through 12. I know some people, their high school is 10 through 12 and their middle school is like 7 through 9 and then 6th grades in elementary school, but whatever your situation, whether you're going to be a freshman when you're in 9th grade, whether you're going to be a freshman when you're in 10th grade, whatever, I'm sure this advice would be helpful to you. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible, but I'm probably going to ramble, so I'm sorry about that. So the first thing that I want to say, especially targeted to freshmen, would be don't worry. I know I was extremely nervous when my first day of freshman year came around, and basically what I can say to you is that it's not as nerve-wracking as you're going to make out it to be. Yeah, I can remember being extremely nervous my first day of freshman year and thinking, oh my god, the upperclassmen are going to like bully me, they're gonna hate me without even knowing who I am. Everything's gonna go wrong, I'm gonna get lost, which was saying something because my dad works at the high school and I've been in the high school wandering those hallways since I was about 6 years old. So I definitely would be the last person to get lost in that kind of a situation. But I mean, I still had those fears and they were extremely irrational. But I still had them, and I know that you guys probably still have them too. The whole piece about the upperclassmen, it may sound mean and it may sound like really, really harsh, but they really don't care what you're doing. They don't care about you. They don't care who you are. They don't really care about getting to know you. More of the seniors and sometimes the juniors than the sophomores, because sophomores obviously aren't upperclassmen, but the wider the age gap, the more difficult it gets for people to relate to you, especially in high school, since the seniors are just so much more mature and experienced than the freshmen are coming right from middle school. Don't think that you're going to walk in there and you're going to rule the school and you're going to be able to do whatever you want and get away with it without the upperclassmen saying anything. But also don't think that you're going to be, pushed down and bullied and ignored just because you guys are the new fish in the pond. Another thing to say about kind of like the bullying aspect, I know that as a society we kind of create this image of what high school is, and that it's this place where, there's so many cliques and there's the cool people and then there's, the nerds and there's the jocks and the goths and all these kind of groups that we kind of stereotypically put people into. But at least with my experience, when I got into high school, I was shocked because from everything that you see, like, I don't know, Mean Girls or like any of the high school movies, even like Disney Channel movies where you have people in high school and it's like, oh my god, look, their lives are perfect and, kids get bullied and there's so many cliques and all that stuff, but don't have that preconceived notion about high school, because that is definitely not how it goes. There are the popular kids and there are the kids that are less popular, but I think there isn't as strong of a line drawn between those two cliques, at least in my high school, because there were the jocks and there were the popular girls who were not cheerleaders, I will tell you, which is another stereotype that I don't think actually happens in most high schools. But there were also the kids that, did sports but weren't considered as cool, but it wasn't it wasn't like a clique, because the kids that were considered popular or, you know, jocks or something, they would hang out with the kids that weren't considered it. So at least in my situation, in my experience with high school, it wasn't as a fine line of where you could see that kind of differentiation and the splitting of each group, but there were still people that I guess you could classify as nerds or jocks or emo kids, but it wasn't like, oh my god, you have to stay in that group and no one associates with you and you get bullied because you're in that group. At least in my experience. Could that be what happens in your high school? Maybe, but I wouldn't go in to a high school expecting that to happen and expecting that, oh my god, I have to be in the popular group in order to fit in. Going into high school, I know it's stressful, and especially if you go into a high school where different middle schoolers are being thrown in, you can meet a lot of new people. It can be kind of rough because you don't know those people as well as you know the people who you obviously went to middle school with. I live in a very, very small district, so, well, I wouldn't call us small in, like, mass, in size of where we are, because we have 7 different towns, and I think that's the most towns in a school district in our state. I'm not sure though. But we all went to the same middle school. We all knew each other. We all already knew each other, and that can be an advantage or a disadvantage, because you're not meeting new people other than kids moving in, new kids moving in. And it's the same people you're seeing every day over and over again, and you can kind of get sick of that, and there might not be a friend group that you fit in with as well. The whole point that I was trying to make with this is that you will find people that like you for you, whether they come from the same middle school or the same elementary school as you did, or whether you meet them in high school or in middle school. You will find the people that like you for you and don't want you to change or get a higher status in the school, or, you know, become some different person just so that they will like you. You don't need to do that. Everyone has at least one person that likes them for them and is friends with them because they like them as that person. I just have problems talking about this because I don't understand why someone would want to change to be friends with someone else. Why are you going to be friends with them in the first place if they don't like you for you? Going off of that with peer pressure, I think that in high school, peer pressure definitely gets a lot more prevalent in high school. You can definitely see it going around, especially when there's parties happening, there's underage drinking happening, there's people getting their licenses. There's another risk of, you know, if you go to a party and you're drinking and then you decide that you're going to drive, there's that whole choice of peer pressure. So I think it really comes down to your morals and how you feel about it and what you want to do with your life. I mean, high school, in reality, high school is 4 years of your life. High school sets you up for the rest of your life and basically determines what you're going to be able to do. Would you rather succeed academically and prepare yourself to be able to go in whatever job you want and have a life and have a husband or a wife and have kids and have a nice home and be able to enjoy your life? Or would you rather go to parties and get drunk all the time and do drugs and have your academics spiral and not be able to get the job you want and go to the college you want because you made one mistake at a party and decided that you were going to get addicted to a drug, or you ended up going into a car with someone who was intoxicated, or you were driving while intoxicated and you got in a car crash and you either died or you had a severe injury or you ended up ruining someone else's future. So there's a scale of what you would like to do. There's the bad things and there's the good things, and the scale can really tip either way depending on how you're influenced by peer pressure. I think it's more difficult for me to give advice on this situation because I feel so strongly about, you know, not tipping the bad side of the scale up and keeping the good side of the scale up. Because I don't know, I guess the logical part of my brain is thinking like, why would you even think about doing that? Because I don't know, I'm so like, I see the tunnel, I see the end of the light at the end of high school, and I can see all these things that I want at the end of the light. So I'm doing all that I can so that there's no bumps in the road on the way, and that I can go straight into the light after high school. Yes. Do you want to enjoy high school as much as you can and make sure you get as much out of it as possible and have as much fun as you can? Of course you do. But that doesn't mean that you need to risk your future in order to squeeze out as much as you can get from high school. Because in reality, as sad as it is, the friends that you meet in high school, you're probably never going to see them again. The people that you're with in high school, you're probably never going to see them again. Unless you stay, you know, in your hometown, and some people stay there too, which is totally fine. But in reality, they're a very small part of your life that is going to be passed and pushed behind after you get out and you're in the real world. I guess that's why I just don't logically understand how people, I don't know, become so attached to what happens in high school and do so many things that could risk of their blossoming into the real world. I don't know. I don't understand why you would do that. I know everyone has their own reasons for everything, and I'm not trying to offend anyone or anything, but this is just my opinion. The best advice that I can give you going to high school is realizing that it's preparing you for the rest of your life. And if you treat it like a throwaway joke and you just brush past and don't pay attention to your grades and your friends and your life around everything else, and you just go out and you party and you don't really give a crap, to put it any other way, then that's setting you up for what's going to happen in the rest of your life. If you do well in high school and you prepare yourself with the habits that you have in high school, then those same habits are going to be used in reality. In reality, those are the things that you're going to use later in life and that are going to assist you and that hopefully will make you successful. But if you aren't successful in high school and you aren't trying your hardest and you aren't reaching for that goal that you know is in the end of the tunnel and is coming at you very quickly, then you're just going to crash and burn, and that's how you're going to be for the rest of your life. I'm not saying that, you know, you have to get straight A's, you have to get good grades. If you are trying your best and putting your best effort into whatever you do, whether it's, you know, maybe school isn't your passion, maybe that's not what you want to do, but whatever you want to do, if you're putting your whole effort into it, as well as keeping up with, obviously you need to keep up with academics, but if you're putting everything that you've got and trying your hardest, that's what's going to make you succeed. If you're just slumming along and being lazy and just brushing it off and saying, oh, it doesn't really matter. Yes, it does, and it's going to affect you later in life. So I guess now I'm going to talk about like my experience with freshman year and my experience with sophomore year as a whole. So freshman year, it was a year that, as saying this to you, you definitely don't want to blow it off. It is a very important year. It is a very easy year academically. At least it was in my position in my school. If you were there, if you did your homework, and if you put an effort into doing the quizzes and the essays and whatever else, the assignments that they gave you, you would get a good grade. So it was kind of one of those things that, yes, it was a year that was very easy, but it was also a year that could be very easily thrown away, and I saw a lot of people do that. And I heard from a lot of upperclassmen about failing classes their freshman year and then having to work to get their GPA back up, so they had to work their butts off their sophomore, junior, and senior year in order to get that GPA back up. And that's going to be the most important thing for you. So freshman year is easy. Make a lot of friends, have fun, get involved in the school. I know everyone says that, but really, go to football games, try things that you didn't think you would ever try. I mean, at least in my school, they had a ton of stuff. They had art club, they have drama club, which I'm involved in. They have all these different sports, so many more than middle school. They have a lot of events. They have football events, they have other events. It's a lot of fun, and if you go and you go to the dances and you go to homecoming game, do everything that you can your freshman year, because then you'll know what you like and what you don't like, and the next year you can decide, okay, I really want to go to this event, or I want to try out this club, and then you'll know, and you're all set for the rest of your 3 years. Okay, so I think that's the end of my freshman advice, and then coming fresh out of sophomore year, I can say sophomore year sucks. I'm gonna say it's probably going to be the worst year out of high school for anyone. It was for me, and I know that's typical of most people. They're like, sophomore year is the worst year, it stinks, I hated it, that kind of stuff, and I can completely understand why. At least in my school, we have to have certain classes that we have to take, so junior year is really the first year that we can pick most of our classes. So sophomore year for me was basically finishing up all the requirements I had for classes, and there was a lot of drama in my grade. And that kind of shifts from school to school, because there's always going to be drama. There's always going to be people that are going to put you down. You just have to get up, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, as one of my teachers would say, and don't deal with it. Don't let it affect you. Just brush it off and, continue with your life, because that's all they want. If they're bullying you, if they're saying things behind your back, they either want you to, one, react, or they want you to pick a fight with them, or they're just doing it to get a rise out of you, which, whatever. The reality of it is, if they're teasing you about something, they're probably jealous of you about either that same thing that they're teasing you about, or they're jealous about something else that you have that they don't. And you know what? You're better than that. You're a better person than them if you just walk away and ignore it and don't deal with it. And, it shouldn't affect you. It's high school. When you get out of there, you're probably going to have a better job than they would ever have. You're probably going to be more successful than them. So if you just keep that in the back of your mind, that can be motivation as well. But no, sophomore year, definitely a lot of changes in friendships. I don't have the same friends that I had for freshman year or in middle school. A lot of people move away, a lot of new people come, and you may be friends with someone that you never would have thought you would be friends with ever before. Coming with that, I would definitely be very open with people, in the sense that if you have this preconceived notion about them and you think, oh my god, I would never be friends with that person because of blah blah and blah, then kind of push that away if they end up, trying to talk to you, and you might discover that they're a totally different person than what you've heard or what you assumed. So I think being very open to new friendships and new experiences. With new experiences being said, not saying that you should go out and be peer pressured into anything, as I talked about before, but I don't know, just be open to new friends. Decide who you want to be that was kind of my experience of sophomore year. For me, at least, it was deciding who I wanted to be, deciding the kind of person that I wanted to be, deciding the people that I wanted to surround myself with in order to become that person, and the people that I didn't want to surround myself with, that I didn't want to get involved with, because I knew that they would affect and change the kind of person that I wanted to be. So it's really, don't let anyone pressure you. Don't let anyone convince you of being someone different. Again, decide who you want to be and stick to that, and find people that are going to support you and guide you and be with you the whole way to becoming that person, and aren't going to try to pull you off track and pressure you into doing something that you really don't want to do. I think that's key in sophomore year, because you're feeling older and you're feeling like you're more mature, and that can be kind of dangerous because, as I said, people are getting their driver's license. People are going out with their friends more. You're getting closer to the drinking age, and you're getting closer to the age of when, you know, people are going to look at you and think, they're old enough to get into drugs. You're getting older, so upperclassmen are going to look at you differently than they would freshmen, because they think, okay, so they're a little bit closer to me, they're a little bit more mature. What can we do with that? So I think it's just be careful, know your limits with anything, and figure out who you want to be. I think that is it. There's a lot more that I could probably say. I could ramble on for hours, but I'm going to let you guys go. And I just wanted to say thank you for watching this video. It's definitely one that I am clearly more passionate about. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if I offended anyone in this video. That is not my purpose. I'm just stating my opinion and my experiences that I've had with high school so far, and trying to give some advice for people coming into high school or moving high schools. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a like. And on another note, I actually started a vlog channel. So it is Hayes Grace Bay, and I will probably link it down below. I have one video up so far, and I'm hoping to vlog a little bit more. So if you guys like that, please go over there and subscribe to that channel. And I will see you guys on Friday for my next video. Bye!